City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 265 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right. We're calling this one Champions for very, very obvious reasons. We did it, everybody. We got across the line. We got the job done. No choking, but all kinds of drama. We're here, right? Get that star on the top. It's real. We are champions. Well earned. Of course, to properly get this thing going, we brought the crew along. We've got Bam, we've got Tony, and Benjamin is here doing his thing. Ben, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. We are MLS Cup champs, like you said. I couldn't be any happier. It's a great time to be an LAFC fan, and I'm just happy to be able to talk to you guys about it tonight.
Can you believe it, though? Has it really, really sunk in?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Definitely had withdrawals all week long. I don't want to get past it. I know, the World Cup's coming up, and that's also exciting. But just to know that it's been like this ride of 5 years, and to finally say that we're MLS Cup champs, it's surreal, and it's a great feeling for sure.
Absolutely wild. I know, Bam, from afar, you were sweating there as well. How are you doing today?
Today I'm doing quite well. On game day, my emotions were all over the place. That's for sure. I had tears of sadness when we all know what happened when we went down, and then tears of joy when Ilya put it in the back of the net. I was emotionally wrecked after that game, but I was so glad to be a part of it, be able to watch it. And yeah, we are champions. We are MLS Cup champions. It's something that within 5 years, it still feels like a dream. Like I'm on my, I think, 12th time watching the game. Just I've had it in the background running and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't seem like it should be. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't seem right. But we are. So for that, just gotta enjoy it.
Did that really happen the way it happened? It's one thing to win a final, but I think what it is the way it happened. Like that no way that really you couldn't write a script like this. No one would ever believe you. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But somehow, some way, LAFC does what they do, and we have to make it dramatic. We can't make it easy. It can't be a classic 1-0 final, right? You get the result, you move on, you bore everybody to death, but you get no, we can't do that. Which brings me over to Tony, because not only was he going through the emotions of this, but somehow he had to keep us all moving in the North End, singing nonstop, and having to put his emotions in check to actually get the job done. Tony, have you recovered from that madness?
I still keep crying, not gonna lie. Like every new video that comes out, it just takes me back. It was such a roller coaster of emotions. Like after that third goal, it was just like this is not how it ends. This is not how it ends. This is not how we put all this time and effort. I put all this time and effort. You have. Everybody here has put out all this time and effort. It's like, this is not how it ends. And it's just like, I haven't posted the picture because it's just like, I just don't want it to be about anything. I just want to just enjoy the moment. But there's like pictures that our great content team and photographers got of me of like literally screaming, and like I see the tears in my eyes just because I was so happy after that Gareth Bale goal. And honestly, everyone there was like, it was the hardest thing to do. And I know a lot of people said they gave up hope. It was hard, but it's like, this is why we do 90 minutes and you keep going hard no matter what. But that last goal, the last penalty kick and everything, we'll break it down later, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
But it was tears of emotions. Let's just say tears of happiness at the end.
It's the emotional mangle, right? I hit a weird angle on mine. I wasn't crying, which was surprising. Instead, I was laughing like I got away with something, like giggling like a little kid, and I couldn't stop laughing. I at one point put my head down because it was like, this is not logical. Why am I laughing? And what it was me. Again, the emotion was high, but it was just knowing football and the way this game is played and things you do or don't do or things that really happen. And it was a moment of ridiculousness, right? And that we got away with something. And I really, in my head, was like, we just did it. These crazy bastards just pulled this off. Like, you aren't supposed to do this. Usually you'll see another goal drop against you. You're down a man. And somehow, some way, this team, this organization found a way. And nobody stopped singing, and everybody was inspired, and there was no quitting. And so for me, it was just like, you tried everything you could to stop this, right? Fate, whatever you want to call it, everything was thrown our way, and somehow, some way, we're lifting a trophy. I couldn't stop laughing. Like, we got you, man. Like, whoever, like that mindset of, can't stop us, and so I got that way. Tears when I see others, right? I think it was just because the shared journey, but my word. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if we'll ever see anything like it again in a cup final. Again, original, that's for sure. And we'll run on that as we go, because I'm going to throw it over to you, Tony. We'll go right into breaking news. Not only are we winners, but we have an even greater honor on top of winning the match. We're owners of the double, right, Tony?
Yes, we are owners of the double. So as most people know, the double is usually when you have two trophies in your league. For all over Europe, we do, which is Supporter Shield and the Cup. And also a fun fact also is, anytime a Supporter Shield winner makes it to the finals, they've only lost once, from all the stats I've been looking up and hearing throughout the whole time. So we never brought that up because it's kind of a bad juju to bring anything like that up as well. So yeah, so it was in the cards, but again, a lot of it in the cards. So again, the last time someone done that was, I believe, Toronto, and I think it was Jordan Harvey and Steve Beitashour that were on that same team. So yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while, and I think it was 6 franchises. Yeah, a couple of them did it twice, whatevs, but 6 total franchises, that's it, that have pulled this off? And then we only do it in 5 years? Again, madness, madness. We're rewriting everything. Try to take it away from us, you can't now. You can't take anything away from us. There will be a star in the crest. It does not go away. We own the city, we already knew that. Now you have the chip. And now you're in a city known for champions, and you're in the club now. So I guess the only teams left are the Clippers and the Chargers. So y'all got some work to do.
no,
That's it.
no,
We're in the club now. We're officially in the club. The winners club in this town. Not on the outside looking in anymore. Done. Move forward. Now, the double is important, but there's other things we want to show off, other places we want to go, other things we want to do, and that news also dropped since our last episode. I'm going to throw it over to Ben because, yes, the CCL draw happened. Gosh, that was honestly a really fun Monday after a crazy, crazy weekend to go, oh, yes, this thing keeps going. Give it to us, Ben. What happened on the draw?
Yeah, so LAFC are going to play against the Costa Rican club Alajuelense. Home and away draw. First leg is going to be in Costa Rica between March 7th and March 9th. And the away leg at the bank will be 10 days later, between March 14 and March 16, which happens to be my birthday. So that'd be a really good birthday celebration. Yeah. This team is one of the powerhouses for sure in Costa Rica. I think they're the second winningest team in that league. So it's going to be tough. I was actually doing a little bit of research on them, and their mascot is actually the lion, which is funny because we played Leon in the Champions League. couple of years ago, so I found that interesting. And yeah, they have some good players. They have Celso Borges, who's a veteran in the midfield. He's played for Costa Rica over 150 caps with the national team. Brian Ruiz, who's played in the Premier League, and Giancarlo Gonzalez, former Galaxy player. So a little familiarity there. So yeah, I'm excited for this draw, and we'll see.
My question to you, Ben, are you going?
It's not confirmed yet, but of course I'm gonna try and be there. I definitely want to go, but there's no confirmed plans yet. But hopefully we'll have some updates on that soon.
I might be joining you. I actually got my PTO approved that entire week. So yeah, if the flights are right, family's going, and I'm taking the family. I know it's crazy, but that's just the Zacher way. Alawenze, if you didn't, I will always mispronounce. Sorry, everybody. That's where the main international airport is. I know they say San Jose, but it's kind of a suburb of San Jose.
I just had a look. It's a 10-minute drive from the stadium to the airport.
Yeah, it's very close, very close. But you got to realize this is right in the dead center of Costa Rica. Okay, so think rainforest, guys, cloud forests, zip lines, all that fun stuff. It ain't the beach because a lot of people go to the beach. No, you're not. No, you're not. This is central Costa Rica. You can go take a trip to the beach if you want to make a vacation out of it. But there's enough cool stuff there that I've seen that I know y'all are going to travel hard. If we can get the tickets, we'll be there. It'll be a big group once again. Leon Part 2. That madness. But look on the bright side. You're not playing Saprissa in the middle of San Jose because that would have been a different creature altogether, right? Purple Dragons and that hostile type of environment. That's a little different. It would be a little more advanced, but not to take anything away from the team we're going to take. I mean, these are really the two top teams anyway from there. But at least you have that beauty of knowing that you're not in the middle of the big town, right? And so you can kind of get away and do what you need to do. So, yeah, we're all going to do the research. I'm probably going to drag Tony along if he can do it, right, Tony? You'll make your effort. Get the passport updated.
Yeah, I gotta get the passport updated, move in. It's like more free. I'm gonna travel more this year, so there you go.
So who knows? Maybe we're gonna do a Heart of LAFC check-in from Costa Rica. I'm just saying it can't be that bad, and it is a beautiful country. So make the trip if you can. I know I'm in for it.
Just doing a little bit more research on this team. In 1996, they were the first team ever to make 100 points in the season. They finished on 102 points. They did it again with 105 points in 98 and 102 points in 2000.
Gotta wonder who was on that roster. How many national players do they have at that time? But hey, Costa Rica has always been good. Always had a good national team. The program is strong there. Always in the mix. It will be a tough match. It will not be an easy match. You should expect that in the Champions League. I will say watching the Champions League draw was kind of cool to see which teams are in it this year. There's a lot of new faces, right? Even from MLS, new faces, but even there's a team from Haiti there that finally made it back. I mean, I think it's a good mix of teams, really interesting. I believe Philadelphia is on our side of the bracket. That would be a potential semifinal if we can make the march. We might have to see those dudes again. But yeah, I love the CCL. I love the fact that we're back in it. We need to push it as much as we can because I think it's a special type of tournament. I don't think you guys would disagree with that, right, Ben? I mean, this is something that really needs to get pushed a bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you still have that memory of kind of bitterness from the 2020 loss against Tigres. So, I'm sure the players want to get that revenge in that tournament. It gives you a ticket to the Club World Cup, arguably the biggest stage in club soccer. So yeah, I mean, what more motivation do you need to play against the best teams in the region, for sure?
And it's an expanded Club World Cup at that. So
right. Yeah.
Even better. Yeah.
Exactly.
So maybe we get to be that group that goes. Seattle gets to go, obviously. But why can't we book our way as well? So hopefully it all works out. And I see a couple hundred of you at least in Costa Rica. That would be ideal.
I think it's just crazy how I mean, if you were to ask Chiellini, like, oh, you're gonna be playing in Costa Rica in a year, like, what would you have said?
Where's my passport? The Chiellini way. Like, we just do what we got to do, right? You can tell he's enjoying it. Whether he gets
Yeah.
minutes where he's enjoying every little bit of being with this side, and I think seeing the young guys push the way they are and the organization grow with him. And I think that's across the board with our veterans. It's they know they're doing something special and they're making history. Can never take this away. Can never
Yep.
take this away. And Bale too. That's the funny
Bale,
part.
yeah,
Who would have thought Bale would be going potentially to Costa Rica? If he doesn't
exactly.
retire, he's going to Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get him for at least the summer. So he's not leaving either.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlos is saying he's not leaving either. So
yeah, it's gonna be a crazy
the reunion
atmosphere
tour.
for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be cool. Their stadium looks kind of cool as well. Got just a different vibe to
Mhm.
it. So
Yeah.
all good and everybody that makes the trip. Of course, outside of that, we did see that I finally got a chance to see Chicho and give him the award that you all pushed, that you all voted for. It's official that Bam created. Thank Bam. Give him a big hug next time he's in town. But Chicho did definitely accept the award. You saw him post on his social media as well. He's always a good sport, which is really nice. And big shout out to Vic from Athletes in the Making for helping us get that across the line. He had a really great toy drive out there, and so at the conclusion of it, when everybody was all done, we got a chance to step aside and do the thing, right? Murillo and Seguro were there as well. We're good sports about it too. All the best to all the lads here. They've had one heck of a year, and Chicho, being as humble as he is with the fans, he's a gem. I'll be honest, man. Like the passion is there, but also the respect for the fans. He has it 100%. We're just lucky to have him on our side. So shout out to Chicho, man. He's awesome. Yeah, good time out, and he definitely appreciates it from all you guys. So we'll definitely keep this going. Tradition has now started, and so the voting will begin. November at the Rose Bowl. So there you go. Right?
November.
I mean, that's
November.
sorry, January.
February.
Yeah. Oh wow, I'm all messed up. Thinking World Cup in my head again, dates and all that. So yeah, February, back into it again. Start the votes then. Yay. All right. So the other thing we wanted to talk about before we get into the match is something extremely important. That would be Max, and how Max is doing and what's going on with him. You saw him sacrifice his body for the side. Again, I don't know how he had it in him to keep the thumbs up, to keep pushing us, hugging the guys, telling them to focus as he was laid out, completely destroyed on the play. But Max being Max, he has to always push the side. So I'm gonna go over to you, Ben. You got an update on him. How's he doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still recovering. Obviously, it was confirmed that he fractured his right leg. He's going to be out for several months. But like you mentioned, he did leave it all out on the field for the team. He did what he had to do for his team to win. Unfortunately, he is going to miss the World Cup. He's going to miss the Galaxy game at the Rose Bowl. He's going to miss the Champions League, or at least the beginning of it. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but he did what he had to do, and I mean, arguably McCarthy said it after the game. That was the play of the game, because if he doesn't make that play, Philly goes ahead 3-2, and who knows how the game is going to end. I wanted to ask you guys, with this injury, do you think McCarthy is like the set it and forget it starter, or do you think the club goes after like another goalkeeper?
It depends on how long the layoff will be. If it's 3 months, there's no reason to go spend crazy money on getting a veteran goalkeeper. You'll have your veteran back if he's coming back that quick. If it's a whole season, which these can be, you have to, right? At this point, you have to get another player in the mix. We hope it's something won't be too long, but we all saw the injury, and that doesn't look like anything that's going to be a quick mend. That's
Yeah.
for sure. I was worried about his career when I saw it, in the first replays and what was going on with his leg. For me, my focus was, man, I just hope he plays again, because
Yeah.
broken legs, dude, it's the wilderness, man. You don't know what's coming next. So on my end, I'm praying for him. A guy, a man of his caliber, of his class, of his willingness to embrace an organization and his fans. He doesn't deserve it like this, man. It's a hard thing, to see him go through this, but it happened, and it's the sport, right? That we know the risks to the goalkeeping position. We just, again, I'm just praying for him that he can recover from this altogether, and that's the first thing: is his health and his ability to recover.
Yeah.
Timelines, I'm gonna assume it's gonna be most of the year next year. So if that's the
Mhm.
case, get one. Bam, your thoughts?
Yeah, like if it's going to be at least 6 months of the season, then we have to go get another one. I'm sorry, but that's how it's got to be. If it's looking at less than 6 months, then yeah, we can bring in a backup for John McCarthy. To me, he does deserve a chance to start next season because of what he did. He deserves to have that chance. But with Max being only 28, which is still quite young for keepers, it all depends on how he comes back from this surgery.
It's tough. Tony, your thoughts?
If short term, then honestly, you don't have to look for one. And McCarthy, you know what I mean? Like he can start any team and on any team. You know what I mean? He's still that good. You just saw, like I said, what he did in the game. But long term, it's kind of depending on how McCarthy does. McCarthy does. Or I guess Romero's there too. And again, it's either you bring in a like veteran keeper that's really well that can start every day, or you just get a third backup or a second backup depending on how Romero or McCarthy are doing.
It could even be a loan deal. Player who might be out of contract in the summer. Um, Give him
Black
his
money.
shot, right? And do that. But we know John. We know this organization. If you're doubting him at this point, there's something wrong with you. They find ways. They're clever. We know they got it in the right place. Yeah, no goofball tweets, people. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Just ride the process and let's get it to opening day. But they'll make the right decisions. Yes.
Yeah, at least we'll not be losing anyone this year for the expansion draft.
That is very true. So the list started dropping, I think, today,
The
but it's
draft's
not
tomorrow.
tomorrow. I saw some names pop. I think
Yeah.
Carson dropped theirs early. Okay, that's fine, but we don't have to drop anything. The only thing we could do in this is possibly become like a trading partner for another team that's at risk, and get something that way, kind of like that ransom kind of thing we see. And then we just be that team that benefits from the end of all of it. And if that's to bring in a young keeper just to bolster things, or an old vet, well, so be it. Our guys will figure it out. They're smart. We know this. They've always got an angle. So good on them.
Trust
All
the
right.
system.
So trust the system, trust the process. We have a star on our chest to show that you need to trust the process. So deal with that. Perfect. Now, there's going to be some other news we're going to talk about down the line, I think, about free agency and all that. But let's have fun first before we get into that kind of sadness, okay? So we'll jump right into the Philadelphia match and the amazing thing that was this final. Break it down for you, get the goals, get the highlights, get the lineups. You know what we do here, and enjoy as Tony takes us through a journey. All right, so Philly, LAFC, day game yet again, 1:00, nice and warm. Actually, a little cooler, so that was better for everybody. North End singing an hour early, marching to the match, finding a tailgate at the last second, thanks to USC being so stingy with parking. But we found a way, and it actually turned out to be epic after the fact. Lineups really interesting. We were wondering about Chiellini. We were debating about Chiellini. Looks like he was not ready. The other guy that was not ready was Segura. So you had Ibiaga and Murillo starting at your center backs, Hollingshead on the right, Palacios on the left. Cifuentes, Sanchez, Acosta, the standards, and Arango, Vela, Boanga, your standard, right? The only tough part was having those two guys having issues at the center back position. Ben, I know you got this one early, as did some of us. You called this pretty much last episode, right?
Which one? The lineup?
The Ibiaga Murillo combo, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. I think just because Chiellini just didn't seem 100% in the Austin game, and with Segura being out as well against Austin, it all signs pointed towards Ibiaga and Murillo. I actually spoke to Ibiaga in the locker room after the game, and I asked him, "Oh, when did you find out that you were going to start?" And he was like, "Well, actually, I didn't know until the day of the final because they were still waiting on Chiellini to possibly be ready, and they were kind of going back and forth. But when he walked into the door in the stadium on Saturday, they told him, 'Hey, you're starting,' and he told me he was preparing for that all week long, and that's really what helped him, get ready for that match."
That's amazing. Imagine that stress walking in, not knowing, right? Am I not? But he probably just had that feeling, knowing, watching throughout the week the guys struggle.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably gonna be me. If it's not, it's me for a half at least.
Right.
But Ibiaga, being the true professional that he is, he was fine from the start. Fine from the get go. He was ready for this, and him and Murillo's an interesting combination, right? Because Murillo's a bit of
Mm-hmm.
a loose cannon at times. Right? He's used to having a steady guy next to him, right?
Yeah.
That's usually his need. Not taking anything away from Murray, but he usually likes to have one of those guys next to him. In this case, it was kind of, well, let's make do with what we have.
Yep.
The other side, the big question was whether their midfield would get shaken up, and in this case, it did. So McGlynn got the start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bedoya did not. Bedoya was
Right.
not ready for this game. And so this is where, and I guess he wasn't ready at all. So that was really interesting. So McGlynn, I mean, Bedoya kind of gave that away when he was talking McGlynn up in the pregame, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
making comments about him, so he was definitely building the man up. The rest of the lineup, not a shock, right? Ure and Carranza up top, Gazdag doing what he does, Martinez as your defensive mid, Flach on the left, Wagner on the left for left back, Elliot Glesnes anchoring the middle, Mbiazo at right back, and of course Blake, the star of the team, still being the star of the team. So here we go. It moves. It gets crazy. What do we expect? The unexpected. It's a cup final. So I give it to you, Tony. Give us our turning points. Let's let this rip.
So before I start, both of you actually predicted everything almost right.
Yeah.
One, Bam with a scoreline, but not the scoreline he wanted, which was 6-0. You also predicting with it going to penalty kicks and going rough and them being physical. So just bringing that up because I was listening to the pod to see if we had any predictions that were right. So just want to bring that up, that we were pretty on point on certain things. So let's just get into it, the nitty gritty, and I'll build it up. On the 26th minute, there's a foul by Jose Martinez in front of the box on Vela, which gives up the opportunity for Acosta and Vela to be on top of the outside of the box for a free kick. Vela fakes to go into it. Acosta takes the shot and hits. I don't know what defender it was, and I don't care. He broke the cardinal rule of you just jump up. You don't turn your head. You don't do anything. You just take it in the face. He decides to put his head to the side. Ricochets off, gets Blake to hesitate to dive to the wrong way, and we're up 1-0.
Was it McGlynn? I thought it might have been McGlynn on that.
I
It
think
was Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like again, it didn't matter, but it's like you're taught as a defender when you're in that wall, as a defender, midfielder, whatever, you're taught just to kind of just take it in the face, take the pain, take whatever. But he decided to tilt his head to the side, which ricocheted off him and gave us the head of the leeway into the head into 1-0.
It was very unfortunate on his end because he was already making the move like that before the kick even happened. So it was just like, thanks for the bank shot, I guess. I will say this: Martinez with the foul seemed to be the story of the day. Martinez with the appropriate yellows was not. Uh, and at this point, he was pretty much beating us up at this stage. So it was kind of fitting that one of his fouls actually resulted in a goal because that's just called karma. Uh, after all the hits he was doing, that they were brutal. They were absolutely brutal in this game, and it seemed like we had a referee that was like, I am not going to let my cards dictate what happens in this match. You all are just going to have to figure it out here. I'll call the fouls, but I'm not going to determine who stays on the field, which was scary, right? Dangerous for us, but there we go. Continuing forward, of course, I will say this with Acosta getting the goal on the play. I know the big conversation this year was, man, his goals are down, right? He's not putting the ball away like he normally does. Well, there's your gift, everybody. He just waited till the absolute end to give it to you. So good on him for doing that. All right, let's keep going, man.
More just attempts, more fouls just throughout the whole game. We'll just talk about the first half because that's about it that happens in the first half. Going into the half, we go 1-0, but this is a good opportunity to talk about the referee. He was letting a lot of things go. 100%. It was very chippy. There was a lot of calls that should have been fouls. It should have been yellows, and it was just like at one point there was maybe a kind of bias towards Philly, but then it turned to like a bias towards us. It was a very odd way of refereeing this game. You can tell that he didn't want to dictate it, but he also was losing control of the game in general.
He was dictating the match by allowing it to get out of hand, right? That's the thing. You don't want to make a 10 versus 11 situation. But if it's warranted, give the cards, man. Like seriously, it's ridiculous. People are gonna get hurt. It's that simple. But here we are. We knew this. Bam gave us fair warning when we were talking about the preview and the way this referee was. His percentage of giving cards was like less than what 2% or some weird statistic like that, right, Bam?
Yeah, so he was averaging 3.5 yellows a game and 0.25 reds a game. He'd only given 50 out of his 202 MLS games have been red cards.
0.25. Yeah. Again, not his thing. He's not gonna. That's what, one every 4 games, I guess, if you would really break that down. That's some madness right there. So he doesn't do it anyway. He wasn't gonna do it here. It was gonna have to be us gritting it out. A grit game was required. Take the mission, move forward. Our guys started giving it back. They benefited from this as well. And we keep on going. I will say before we jump on to the second half, shout out to the 3252 for the amazing Goku Tifo. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Tony's the expert on these sorts of things. See, I told you I'd mess up. So the amazing Tifo with the flares and all that other fun stuff. Tony, you explain this, sir.
So it was Gogeta. So it's a fusion of Vegeta, Goku, and Vegeta. It's a fusion dance. There's another version called Vegito. Once I saw it, again, this is why I was excited because I finally got my anime Tifo as most and stuff like that. So don't worry, Joseph. That was the same thing that was happening. I remember during setup, there was one of the workers there. He's like, "Oh, that's Goku," or like, "That's Goku," and all this stuff. Like, no. He said like he understands the fusion, but he thought it was with the earrings. I was like, "Oh no! It's with the dance and like blah blah blah." Yeah, the nerd in me with the anime and stuff like that. That's why. But it was greatly done. We also got a shout out from the creator of the series of Dragon Ball on his Instagram. And then he finally, after the fact, also gave credit to PSG, but he hit us up first and then them. So there you go.
What has, man? It was good. We were pushing the envelope yet again, pushing the supporter culture forward yet again in this league, changing it. And even better, not only the North End was singing, the entire stadium was singing. It's everything you want in a cup final from the fan base. They did it right. What, 500 or so supporters from the other side went as well. Some empty seats. Guys are weirding me out with that, especially how desperate we needed tickets. I don't get it, but whatever. We were there. They were there. They were singing too. I give them credit for that. You could hear them at times when we decided to drink a water, um, and maybe you could hear them, but otherwise, dude, it was wild. It was beautiful. Cup finals the way they're supposed to be. That was first half. Impressions, Ben, on the first half.
Yeah, I think Philly did a really great job of keeping Chicho and Buanga in check. I feel like they were, putting a lot of pressure on them. I don't think they got a lot of touches in the first half. I think Vela was probably the most active offensive player for LAFC. And yeah, it was great to have two really good options. Off the free kick, you pick your poison. You have Vela, you have Acosta. I mean, even if you're Andre Blake, I mean, you can't really guess who's going to shoot it. So I'm just happy that it worked out that way, where Acosta got the shot and it deflected off the wall for the goal. But yeah, just for the first half, that's all I saw. Just after that goal, LAFC were able to kind of calm down a little bit and control the game a little bit more. Yeah, that's how the first half ended, with the 1-goal lead.
Yeah, somehow, some way surviving and getting to half. Do you think it was more of bottling Orongo and Buongo, or just pummeling to the point where they can't be functional because you're just hacking them?
Yeah, I think they were just trying to, they knew that they couldn't contain all three, so maybe they just try to contain at least two of them. Vela's gonna get his touches on the ball. I think Buang. I know Chicho was very frustrated in the game. They kept pushing him around, and I even saw Chirundolo yelling at him a few times, saying, "Hey, like I don't know what he was saying, but they were going back and forth, yelling at each other." So yeah, I think Philadelphia really frustrated Chicho and Buanga in the first half.
Yeah, I think it was the mental aspect, right? You're not going to get your calls, man, and
Yeah,
don't let it hang you up. You still have to make it work.
yeah. The ref was
And
letting them play.
yeah, you don't have a choice at this point. You can cry about it, or you can go win a cup. That's your
Hmm.
option.
Hmm.
I think that, if there was any coach that was going to tell you how it goes, this was the one to do it.
Yeah.
Bam, I'll throw it to you, man. Your thoughts about the first half, your final, your hit on this.
The first half, watching the game, just hearing the pure atmosphere coming from not only the 252, but the whole stadium. It sounded like a massive party. Everyone was having fun. Everyone was pushing the team further and all that. Philly did what we kind of expected Philly to do: play that physical game, play that rough, play that tough, get down to the nitty gritty. And it was good to see our guys stand up and go, "No, we're not going to take this." Last year, we weren't standing up to that kind of stuff. To be honest, over our short history, we haven't really stood up to the nitty gritty games. But having
No.
the players stand up to that showed where we have come and where we're going as a club. So the first half, yes, it was only 1-0. Should have been more. Should have been, for either side, should have scored more goals. But going into the half 1-0, I was happy.
Exactly. You take a lead into the half, and I think I mentioned this last episode. The goal was to either be level or be ahead by half, because if you're not, it's a hard march back against the way that team is built. Thankfully, a shootout was required for the second half for them to get back into it, which basically led to our moments. So let's move into the second half. Tony, bring us into it, man.
At the 59th minute, so quickly into the second half. This is like a kind of a weird play, because it almost looked like Martinez shot the ball, but it was a really hard, quick pass. And watching it real time, you think Gazdad was offsides, but after you look at it, you saw that Cheeky was right. If I think it was Cheeky who kept him on sides, but it was a quick pass. Unfortunately, Max kind of guessed. What's up? Go for it, man.
I'm sorry, it wasn't a pass. He went for a shot. He mishit that shot. It was a mishit shot. It wasn't a pass. He was going for goal. And fortunately for them, Gasag was there to go, "Thank you very much."
Yeah,
All the players, everyone's like, "Yep, that's a shot." And Gasag's like, "Nope, thank you very much."
Yeah, I mean, give Gazdag credit. Handling that play is difficult, very difficult. That's a high skilled play, and it did freeze us completely. Because why wouldn't it? I mean, you got to be able to handle that. And No one's going to expect that where you trap a shot on goal and somehow keep it in your wheelhouse right in the moment. That's some sorcery right there. Give him credit. I do. It was an amazing finish from them. Now, they weren't doing anything up until that point. They were not in this game offensively. We had bottled them up, right? And so it was very unfortunate that that happened. Bang, bang play. That is your classic cup final what happened moment, right? Because there's nothing we could have done in this play. You can't, well, this guy should have been here. No, man, that was a bang, bang, crazy play. The soccer gods were telling us you're not going to get it easy on the day. And that was one of those big moments where, guess what? Wake up, you're in a cup final. Ben, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was very unexpected. I agree with Bam. It was definitely a shot. It was not a pass, no way. I think if he tries to make a pass, it doesn't get there. So I think that tells you all you need to know. Yeah, it was kind of a punch to the face, but fortunately, the team was able to pick themselves back up, and I'm sure Tony will tell us more about it.
And we keep going, right, Tony?
Yes, the 83rd minute. Now, as most of you, maybe all of you in the stands, we thought we had it here, where it was a cross and a corner kick from Vela. Murillo, for all the mistakes he made, which he does make one more mistake, we'll get to that. But out of all the mistakes, he scores what would have been, if not for what happens next, the game-winning goal with a nice beats his defender, and heads it perfectly past Blake. And we thought this was it. Like, we were celebrating because 83rd minutes are very hard. Like, you know what I mean? But again, cup final. Your guys' thoughts on it? Go for it, Joseph.
I'll just say this: the LAFC way changed in the playoffs. Early season, a lot of reasons because of fall, but we were good on the headers, good on the crosses. We had an aerial game, and then it dried up, and then that slump happened, right? And then somehow, someway in the playoffs, all of a sudden the dynamic aerial game reappears. And in every playoff game to this point, we get one. We get one. And this was one of those. And this time you were out jumping, out physical play on one of the toughest teams in the league on the dead ball, and you get there. Um, Murillo power header, thing of beauty. Good on him. Great play altogether. I'll throw it to you, Ben. Impressions.
Yeah, I mean, like Tony said, in my opinion, I thought the game was done there. I was really excited to see that goal go in, and to go back off to the goal set pieces in the playoffs. This run was crazy. I mean, I think they scored five of the 9 goals that LAFC scored in the playoffs were after set pieces. So, that just goes to show, the work that the team has put in the training sessions, and how they really, lock down on these things. Because when you have these, high stake games and they're so intense, it's not always about who plays better. You have to take advantage of those set pieces. And I think LAFC did a really good job of that. I think Chirundolo mentioned Mark Dos Santos, the assistant coach. He was the one in charge of handling that department. So kudos to him, and kudos to Murillo for getting on the end of that.
Good. That I mean, again, the weapon. He has that. That's the tool. Uh, Bam, from your perspective, watching from TV, seeing how this all played out, I mean, were you on the floor at this point?
I was ecstatic the moment I hit the back of the net, because I'm there watching it coming and going, all right, from the corner, let's see what happens. And then out of nowhere, he comes running in and heads the ball. Like, there was no one near him. It was like, what's going on? That doesn't happen to us, kind of stuff. He runs in, heads the ball, back of the net. I hear the roar of the crowd before I see the net shake. So I knew that you guys knew it was in. And yeah, I'm just ecstatic going, yes, we've won this. We have a hand on the cup. 7 more minutes and we have 2 hands on the cup.
Yeah, just kill this game. Please. Just kill this game. I think we were all there and we thought they were. It really had the vibe because, again, this team managed Philadelphia 3 shots on target the entire game. What was the score again? Back to you, Tony.
And not even 2 minutes later, and while we're all celebrating, trying to get our composure, the old LAFC rears its ugly head of we get complacent, we forget to do our assignments. And in the 85th minute, with an assist from Wagner, the quote-unquote better player than Bale, Jack Elliott scores the tying goal. It was a very dysfunctional thing. I think the players thought we have this in the bag, we can just run out with it. But as we all thought, you know what I mean? 83rd minute, this is just what the game was foreshadowing or what's going to happen. And we end up tied 2-2. Your thoughts, Joseph, on this one?
Jack Elliott is a dangerous, dangerous man. He's done it all year. Every time you think you have these guys bottled up, they find a way. This is the Philadelphia way. We should not be surprised by this, as sad as the moment was at that time. This is Philadelphia. This is why they were in the final. They know how to play dead balls. If you think our stats are impressive, go check out Philly's stats when it comes to dead balls. This is what they do. That's why they have monsters on their back line. You saw how they outsized us back there. And in this case, I still don't know how he got that good of a header from that kind of distance, from that angle, but he did. And no one's going to stop this. They're not. It was a perfect play for them. It was an ideal play. They weren't going down. You can be mad. You can fault us. We're terrible. Whatever. You want to play that game? You can. But that's a classic Philly goal. It is not a surprise they did what they did. The distance was a little bit shocking to me, but the power was there. I'll go to you, Bam. Your thoughts in that moment as you were watching this?
Heart just pure sunk. Going back and watching it over and over again, if at any stage you want to sit there and go, they scored because of X, Y, Z, you unfortunately will have to put it to Bouanga. Bouanga was manning him. Bouanga let him go. He scores. But that being said, though, it is what it is. We learn from this. We've learned over the last 5 years how much we can change. We learn from this, we move forward, and we keep going.
Yeah, he was beat on the play. There was no doubt. It was definitely a mismatch. And they took advantage of that. Which I'll go to you, Ben. You were up in the box, right?
Yeah, I was in the press box, yeah.
What was going on up there?
Man, it's funny because when Murillo scored the goal, I was already typing up my story. Oh, LAFC wins MLS Cup, and I'm sure everybody else was too. When Philadelphia scores, all you see is everybody typing again because the script has changed, so it's just a brand new script. It was just all games. Kept changing my story, kept changing. Yeah, you could just see the frustration from all the writers up there, just man, somebody please win. It just keeps changing. So yeah, it was crazy to see, but yeah, I agree with Bam. It was Bouanga's man. He just kind of let him go there, and it was unfortunate to see. The crowd just got super quiet at that moment. You could just feel the energy from the band just being sucked out. And yeah, I mean, after Murillo scored, I'm just park the bus, please. Just park the bus. I don't care, whatever it takes. But yeah, it was just sad to see, and hope. I'm sure Tony will explain what happens after this.
Because the game of the century continues. I think that is hilarious the way you're yeah, there's how to read that. Thanks for the press box perspective, because I just thought it couldn't have been quiet. That's what I figured. Because when you're up there, you have to be like a church mouse, right? I mean, you can't show emotions. You got to have a vein popping out at this point. But I'm sure there was some noise, right? I mean, it was impossible to say.
Yeah, no, there was definitely people talking, and I just every time a goal was scored, I would look around and see like the emotions, and yeah, it was crazy.
Break the mold. Couldn't help it. It's too crazy. All right, Tony, give us more madness, sir.
So there was a opportunity for us to win it in regulation with an extra 7 minutes, because there's another extra 9 minutes that we're going to get to, but there was a juggle in ball, and we'll just get to the end of the part of it. I watched this from the Capital stand because I just was dead, like locked onto it. I felt like my eyes just zoomed in like a sniper scope or like binoculars. Hollingshead had his foot up right at the ball and could have passed it past Blake, but pulled back, and because he thought it was going in, and Blake had an easy pass. It was right there, and it was just, I think I don't know what happens if Hollingshead puts a tap on the ball. Does it change the trajectory? Does it go in? Who knows? But that was the opportunity to close it in at regulations, and you can just see everyone's head just literally just grab like their just fall or grab their like head, like scratching, like, oh my god, it was right there.
Dude, that collective sigh from the whole you could hear it. It was insane. The groan, right? And I think the announcer for MLS Review Show were like, why didn't he go into it with his head? It was again bang bang play, but he was dead set. I'm gonna hit this thing in. But if you looked at it, if he simply just went forward 2 feet, he probably could have headed the damn thing in. But again, bang bang play. How are you gonna think about that in the moment? It's next to impossible. I feel bad for Hollingshead in the moment because he got himself in the right place. He did everything he had to do. Just the last step didn't happen. And of course, at this point of the game, at that stage, everyone's fatigued. So yeah, there we go. Um, Bam, I know you fell out of your chair in that moment. You had to.
I was watching the game in bed still. I just woke up with the game on in bed. So I was laying in bed watching the game. Thankfully it was. At some stages, I was just wrapped up in my blanket going, no, this is impossible. But laying there, seeing this going, what the hell's going on? We almost had it. That would have been it. That's done and dusted. But seeing during that extra time, everyone was tired. Everyone was run off on their feet. But they kept pushing. They kept trying for it, which wouldn't have happened last year. Wouldn't have happened the year before. So whatever dollars came in and changed has been amazing for this team on their fitness levels.
The intensity level, right? It was even going into the overtime, nobody was just like, I'm slowing this game down. You didn't get that drag out game. They usually get in overtime. Instead, they're like, let's just keep running and gunning. Like, well, we'll see what happens. There was no change to it. They didn't sit back and just wait for a counter on us. They were like, no, we're gonna go into the sprint. We're gonna fight this thing through. So as much as frustration as they had, it was just like, no, you just got to keep going, hammer away. Ben, from your perspective, I mean, really, they weren't really abandoning their systems or anything. They just kept moving, right?
Yeah, I mean, are you talking about overtime now?
Well, I mean, just to the end of the whistle. I mean, there
Oh
was
yeah, no, they kept
nonstop.
pushing. Yeah, even after Philly scored the 2-2, yeah, LAFC they didn't. I don't think they wanted it to go to overtime. They wanted it to
No.
finish in regulation, and yeah, they had the chance with Hollingshead, right there. From my view, he was so close to getting to that, and I mean, if he puts that in the back of the net, you build him a statue. I don't care.
Oh, there's about 11 statues that need to be built after this one, and the next moments that Tony's going to mention will explain why. So, to you, sir, you may continue.
Well, I want to mention something to give a shout out to your daughter, which was actually I forgot to tell you this earlier, which was ironic. Is Hollingshead, who did he walk out with?
My daughter. Yeah.
And exactly, which was also like the best, like kind of like, that was your boy, and you were saying that he was outscored, and at the end of the season, your daughter seems to get the opportunity to walk out with the player you thought would score more than Brian Rodriguez, which you're right.
It was my guy this year, man.
Yeah.
And it was funny is my daughter, last time we played a playoff game and she went out on the field like that, she got Kyle Beckerman. So I was like, I told her, I'm like, tell her don't go with the bad guys. And I think that's exactly what she said is don't make me walk out with the bad guys. Which is hilarious. But then I also found out that she went fangirl on Latif in the tunnel when she was supposed to be taking it serious, and she went into a hug fest with him because that's her all-time hero. But Hollingshead, like, she was like, he's so nice. He gave me a hug afterward. Like, again, Ryan Hollingshead's the man. So to see him in the moment, to see what he did in this game, I mean, let's give it to him, man. He was amazing. And yes, the moment didn't happen there, but the fact that he was in that position as a right back just tells you the story of Ryan Hollingshead. So there's that. All right, let's get into this overtime madness because this is the most epic overtime in league history and some ways football history because this is not normal.
I just wanted to bring it up because here's where everyone's emotions get brought back again. Because I just wanted a happy moment right now because this is where everything brings down. So I'll bring in the substitutions because those are important.
Yeah.
So in the 91st minute, Acosta comes out for Tello. So Tello shows up. And in the 97th minute, Vela comes out for Bale. Comes out and Bale comes in. And then, so it took a lot of time, but it was at the 116th minute. That's when Max gets his red card, but he gets a yellow card first. Out of a Murillo doing Murillo things, and it was the play of the game. Max does not. Yes, Big Mac gets the MVP because of his heroics of what he had to do, but the real MVP for literally throwing his body out there and saving us from probably a goal. That most likely is a goal 99.9% of the time. He goes one-on-one with, I don't even know who cares, whoever it is.
Corey Burke.
And Corey. Okay, Corey.
Yeah.
No, because I want to kill Corey, but because he killed Max and collides with Max and stuff like that. And everybody in the North End knew he was done. Because as we all know, when Max goes in for a tackle and goes hard, he automatically gets up. That's his first reaction. He automatically gets up.
I think he wanted to at first, but then quickly realized this wasn't going to happen. And sadly, he went into a little bit of shock there. He started shivering.
His first reaction was he sat up and waved straight over to the trainers. He knew he was done. His first reaction was trainers, get on here.
Yeah, a broadcast here immediately went away from it because they quickly knew. But those moments, who saw it, man, you want to cry for him, you know? Yeah, go for it.
I want to say something like Philly fans, they showed up. There was one Philly fan who decided to like be brave and walk to our tailgate, which I was like, there's always got to be that one a-hole around and everything like that. But for like, we have an injured player, there's going to be a VAR check at it, but then you see the Philly fans, the supporter Philly fans chanting VAR. Honestly, I'm gonna make it unfriendly. Fuck you guys. Like, honestly, like, fuck you. Like, there's a player injured that could be like season ending, career ending, and you want to chant VAR. Like, who are you? Like, that's not supporter culture. That's not even a chant. That's like a dumb assery thing.
I would say this: put the shoe on the other foot, man. Do you really think in a cup final, the 32-52 wouldn't be friggin' howling at that yellow card?
Yeah, but we won't be chanting VAR. Like, most of us just do this and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, look at it. We don't actually do a freaking chant with our drum saying that. Like, that was a very like,
yeah.
It's a cup final, man. Yeah, go Bam.
I'm going to take the other way where in the past, I have been in the in a away section that have sung this when one of the opposition players went down, dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole. I'll admit I've done that in the past and all that. Look, is it classy? No. Does it happen? Of course it happens. Will it always happen? It will always happen. It's one of the things where if it's not your player, you're going to say stuff like that. It's you look at it too. It's 2-2, extra time, cup final. Emotions are starting to run really hot right now. You know, you've just been... Yeah. You've just got a goal-scoring opportunity taken away from you. Like, even that, like, going by everything that was done, they never actually went to VAR. It was the assistant referee that came over and talked to the ref. They never actually went to VAR.
Didn't have to. It's a red card. It's a red card. You could debate because Burke kind of overhit the ball when he tried to get around him. Because part of me felt, I'm not sure Burke's getting to this one. I think we'll recover here. And then the hit happened in almost an instant. But my head was like, ooh, man, he overhit that. And then we saw what happened. From the Philly perspective, they don't know he's that badly injured. They're all the way up on top of the stadium, man, like far, far away. I'm not giving them an excuse because honestly, it woke everybody up in the stadium. When they did that, it let everybody up. I mean, Ben, you heard it, like the howl that came from the LAFC supporters when they did that. It woke everybody up, like enraged at that point. And then the songs were flying, and out was whole stadium. They gave it right back. The boos went back. I think it helped our support by them doing that. It backfired on them with that attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know why they did it. And I'm not mad at them for it. It's the battle. It's the final. You're gonna do things that aren't always the greatest thing, and they're not gonna get you a Nobel Prize or anything like that. You're not right. But in the moment, it didn't help their cause. I'll say that.
No.
Did you hear anything like any in the impact? Did you hear anything or no?
No. There was
okay.
no sound on the play, which is kind of the saddest thing because when a player does break a leg, in a lot of cases, the impact got absorbed by the break, right? So you're not hearing the impact. You're just the guy's flopping. And his leg had, I'm pretty sure both bones were broken. Lower leg.
Yeah.
I'm fairly, from what I saw and the way it immediately did. It's so gross, but having been in this sport and seen a lot of ugly things, I think we all knew what it was the minute we saw it. When he started shaking, that's when I got worried because I knew he was going into shock, and that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. And so, yeah, it sunk my heart just to see him go down like that. And yeah, I was expecting the red to get pulled. I mean, the one guy that didn't want to pull the red was the referee, and he had to pull a red. He didn't have a choice. He did not have a choice. You could be mad about it. He did not have a choice. He have to do it proper. And if he didn't do the red card, then he's not doing his job. That simple, which we accused him of that throughout the game because he wasn't, right? You see the stats, you go, that was bizarre. But in this case, it's just so obvious you have to do your job. And so here we go. J-Mac coming in out of nowhere. His conversations about having to go pee and not getting to go pee was you guys, oh god, that was funny. And then that he was possibly going in anyway was the other funny thing to learn about the strategy. And again, the LAFC way where every scenario has been played out and they've got a plan for it is pretty darn amazing from this side because they really, you could tell everything. Like at Biaga, right? I might be going in so like every contingency is thought about. In this case, it was penalty kicks, and so J-Mac wasn't completely unprepared to get minutes in this game. He was not. Was he surprised? Yes. Was he inspired by Max doing what he did? Oh hell yes. It's just, as Tony's going to explain in the next play, we couldn't get out of that hole the minute we were put in it. And that was the real, when you watched, I mean, the minute the play restarts after this injury, our guys are kind of in a situation where they cannot escape. They've got they got us wrapped pretty much, and they're not going to let us out in this moment. And Tony, how did it fall?
So Matt comes in for Opoku goes out. Now the reason Opoku goes out is because Philly gets to choose on a red card who gets to go out. I think that's what they were saying on the broadcast, and I was just like, "What? I don't remember this rule, but I guess not." But what?
No.
Okay, so that's why I was like, I was hearing this problem. I'm like, I don't remember this rule. I'm like, again, MLS will MLS, but okay, I guess.
No.
Because let's be honest, if Philly got to choose, Bale's going out, not a poker.
True, maybe.
Yeah, or you take out a center back.
Yeah.
You got no center backs. You took out the youngest guy on the side, right, with the least experience in that situation, and that's what they did. I feel bad for Poku because he was putting in good quality. Like you saw, he was ready for this one, and we lost him, which stinks. But
All right, now let's get into
yeah.
the dagger of that at the time. So it was literally just a jumble of a play. It got crossed in, got resetted in, and then they crossed it in. And Mac actually blocked the initial header, so he was on the point. And unfortunately, he just didn't have enough. It deflected off him and just fell onto Elliot's hand, and Elliot scored. And that's when, I kid you not, I went back to look at tweets. I went back, I look at Instagram stories when they were out there. A lot of people turned to freaking God at that time, or whatever you believe in, universe, whatever. But everyone's like, you could feel the energy just sucked out of the stadium if you weren't a Philly fan. But it hit me. Like, I was just like I said in the beginning, not this way. This is not how our season ends. Like, it doesn't. But 32-52, of course, kept continuing to cheer. But in that moment, also, karma is a mother effer, because Martinez decides to do the crying thing to our fans, and we'll get back to that in a second. Your thoughts, you guys?
I'll throw it out there. One, Burke got hurt on that play. I forgot to mention it. He did get hurt on that play too, and he's essential to their lineup. Yes, in the moment I got numb, like I actually felt the tingle right down the spine, like that sense of dread hit. I think that's where we're at, but at the same time, it's like it can't go down this way. It's just there's no justice in this. Was the anger that I felt? It moved quickly to anger, and then it's like just like when another side celebrated on our field, I'm not giving you this, I'm not giving you this. And I think that was where it was at. It went to anger in a split second in the north end. You could feel it, sadness to anger. Now, no, you're not doing do this to us. And then it kind of spread as well. And they were singing everywhere. It got quiet for a short time, but then it hit hard again, and we kept going. Ben, I mean, I'm sure you noticed a lull, but it came right back, right?
Yeah. I mean, that goal took, I mean, a lot out of that stadium. I for me personally, I thought it was done. I thought the game was over. I asked Escobar and Chiellini in the locker room, and they said the same thing. They thought it was over too. In the sidelines, being on the bench, but for the players on the field, I asked Ilie and Ibriaga the same question, and they were like, "No, we didn't think it was over." Because for Ilie, at least, he said that Max came to his head. The thought of Max, and Max telling them to fight until the end, and that's kind of what kept Ilya going. And for Ibriaga, it was more of like, how do we reorganize? How do we get back in this? Because there was still 5-7 minutes left, so there was plenty of time. And you could see Chirundolo just kind of from the sidelines, pushing his players up, like, come on, let's go. Like, we're not going to give up. So I think being on the field was different because, obviously you had the situation with Max, and that kind of gives you that motivation to, fight for your teammate. And us from the sidelines, we don't have that adrenaline going. So it's easy for us to, kind of just put our heads down and say, oh, well, that's it. So I think that was a big difference. But for me, yeah, I thought it was done.
Yeah, go for it, Bam.
Yeah, I'm same with Ben. My heart sank. I thought we were done. Thought that was it. Tears were coming to my eyes. I just didn't know what to expect. Watching back though, this is where I have some criticism of our own fans. Don't throw shit on the field. Don't throw shit on the field. I don't care. I don't care who it is. It can be Carson. Don't throw shit on the field. These are professional players. You throw something on there, you hurt them, you hit them in the eye. You just ruin their career. You have. Not them. You have. They're out there to give us some entertainment and all that kind of stuff. But just don't throw shit on the field. Plain and simple.
Took away from it, didn't it?
It did 100. It did 100%. Just seeing they have the right to celebrate a game-winning goal. We all thought it was game-winning goal. Right? They have the right to celebrate that. You have no right to try and hit them with bottles, cups, whatever. Don't do it. Don't be that dick.
It's a criminal act. It's called assault. Throwing from that distance, that's assault. That's what it is. Because it's a large group of people, you get away with it, a cowardly way. But man, yeah, do better, right? Do better, be better. That ain't staying golden, that's for sure. And it's unfortunate to see. Thankfully nobody did get hurt. Guys kept playing. Our team kept playing. They get lost in it. But yeah, it is bad juju, man. Yeah, you can't go that way for sure. Bam's right. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. I did notice, of course, with the players, their heads weren't down. It was anger. Like they let one in, like, oh, we couldn't get out of there because they could not get. They were trapped on that play, and every time we tried to clear it, there was another body there. It was really frustrating because it was one play. It was right when he comes back, and once that was done with, then the game became back to us again. And of course, in my head, I'm like, well, there's going to be a second one going to fall on us, right? Because you're down a man. It's just the natural way of things in this sport, right? They're going to get another one because you're down a man and you're desperate. But our guys had other ideas. And so I throw it to you, Tony, because resilience, yes, is now an LAFC keyword.
All right. Play by play on this one because it was a throw-in from Cheeky to Elie, and Elie traps it, gets it back. Cheeky gets it, and he tears it down that left line all the way to the byline and crosses it in to Gareth effing Bale. There was a post by one of the podcasts that's been getting bigger, and then I think they're in Austin or in Texas or whatever, talking about, and they posted this that day. Gareth Bale shows up in big games and give you those big goals. And that one honestly brought tears to everyone's eye of just happiness and just I'm like I said, I'm getting goosebumps just reliving that and everything like that, but it just brought the stadium back, and we knew it was still ours to come back for us to win, and it was just euphoria. Like, we still have a chance. It's not over. And I'll let you guys go for it because
I never hugged, high-fived, punched, thrown, done so many crazy ass things in a matter of probably 10 seconds than I did in that moment. You could wrap all the New Year's Eve celebrations into 1 second, and this was it. Anything you've ever celebrated, it all came into one moment at one time, and it was this one. And Cheeky, who's got dogged by me many, many times on this podcast, you've heard me do it, could not whip a cross any tighter or closer to touch, right? Closer to the line than it in that moment. It looked like it was going to head out, and somehow he hooked that ball and put it right to the penalty spot. And Bale knew where to be because Bale always knows where to be in big games. And somehow, some way, out jumped a man that's probably got 4 inches on him. I, again, Gareth effing Bale. I think we said that 27 times in our section when he did it. How does this man do this? In every competition, he wants it. He does it. And again, he comes in and does the job because that's Gareth Bale. I'm befuddled. Like I said, I could not stop laughing because of course it's him. Of course it's Cheeky, right? Of course it's Ilie with the dime pass, who talked to us about how he had lost 2 cup finals at home and could not let it happen again. And he's the guy that makes the setup, right? He sends Palacios on his way. You can't script it any better. It can't feel any better as a football fan in that moment. It is just pure gold. Ben, again, reactions from you, sir, and what you saw in that moment from the press box to the floor.
Yeah, I was in shock. I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. I grabbed one of my partners like his head. I just put my hands around it like this. I don't know what to do because I couldn't really scream or jump or anything. Kind of got to stay professional, but yeah, it wasn't after like I got home that I watched like all the videos, and that's when it like really hit me. Like I started to get emotional, and yeah, I still watch that goal like at least 10, 15 times a day. I just can't get over it. Every time I watch it, it just gets better and better every time. And yeah, I feel like whoever saw that goal, whether it was live or on TV, you don't really need an image. You can just kind of imagine it in your head, and it's still gonna be the same feeling. And yeah, just emotions like running through me when that goal went in, and yeah, I lost it inside. I couldn't express it outwardly, but yeah, I knew that when that goal went in, there was no way we were going to lose that game.
No, we just took it. We just took it back. We jacked that back. It's a moment I'm never going to forget for the rest of my life. And any football fan that got the pleasure of watching that live, you will never forget this moment because it is that special. It is that unique. It is that strange to come back down a man to the best defense in the league, and somehow, some way, you're first to it. And yeah, something I will never forget. Something I will cherish. The moment. It's just damn special. And I can leave it at that and go to Bam because I know you want to talk on this one. You've got to talk on this one. You have the floor, sir. Give us your thoughts, man.
If you're more than halfway up the 30-52 at that stage, if you went 4 or 5 rows forward from where you started the game after that goal went in, did you really celebrate? I know for sure if I was in the 30-52, I would have been 4 or 5 rows forward, plain and simple. After that goal went in, the euphoria, everything just came out of nowhere. At this stage, because it was a Sunday morning game, a lot of my mates in Australia were waking up, messaging me, going, "What's going on? You've lost the game, haha," giving me all that kind of stuff, as mates do. They don't really follow the league. And then when Bale scored that, they all just went, "What the hell have I just watched? That was ridiculous. Tell me more."
Yeah. Tony?
I was gonna say the closest goal I have to that in my watching live is the Sergio Ramos goal in the Champions League final. on the cross where he wins it for Real Madrid. That's the closest thing I've had to this. But to see it in person is a whole different feeling on being both ends. Of watching it on TV and being live, you'll never forget that.
Never. There's nothing more dramatic. Nothing. I don't care. I know it's my side. Been in all the games I've ever watched. Nothing where it's that. Again, we had 9 minutes of injury time and we were in minute 8. There was no time left. That was the only thing, because you don't put that one away. They get the ball back. The clock gets eaten up, and somewhere in the midfield, this game ends, and we're all crying for the wrong reasons. It had to be that moment. It had to be that time. I'm going to go to the Rage Against the Machine song. I know, guys. But that was it. That was your chance. And you took it, and you move forward, and you go to penalty kicks. Simple. Right? Yes.
Yes, before we go to penalty kicks, we have to. Well, we're gonna do a little thing different. Let's go to the album of the week right now, because this is like the perfect opportune time to just drop album of the week.
All right, you can throw your album. I'm not even put the thing because we're still in the match, but you explain the moment how a song becomes an anthem and why it has to be album of the week.
Exactly. So we had this discussion. Now we put it in our chat. We're like, you know what the album has to be, right? And anyone who is there can understand this. There's even a Twitter where the DJ not our DJ Fresco, but
Mando
Fresco puts it out there in the thread of what happened, and so and how much he only had time. So the album of the week is Donde Who I can't even, I'm like, just sorry, like the emotions are just getting to Jugar Los Niños, and the song that comes off that album is Oye Mi Amor, because that just became the anthem, because we were all tense. Like, so that goal comes, there's a one more chance opportunity. He calls it whatever, and he only, like I said, Donde Fresco only had a song and a half to play. Was going to play Red Hot Chili Peppers, but decided to play an uplifting song to get us to all sing. And Oye Mi Amor comes on and changes everything, and that stadium becomes a little bit lighter and less tense.
It got him ready. It got him prepped. That's for sure. He did end up playing that Red Hot Chili Pepper song after that, though, right before the kicks were taken, which was Can't Stop, which was our song last week.
Yeah.
Really freaking amazing and cool. That was the minds. That's what I remember in the moment, because that's me. But yeah, it was kind of unofficial anthem, which now I guess Mana has been using social media promoting what we did, which is even cooler. Yes, ma'am.
Mando Fresco has also put out a Spotify playlist of all the songs he played. So I've just dumped that into our group here. So all the people in here, that's the link to the Spotify.
Relive it, people. Put it in your car. Get your commute going tomorrow. And enjoy. Another thing we can celebrate, just like the Sights and Sound video that came out, or the YouTube video that came out today. Just enjoy it. I love the Sights and Sound videos that they've been doing. To me, it just feels pure. Their emotion can be read in these the right way. No, somebody doesn't have to tell me to be excited. I can see the excitement. And so let's go to the penalties. We go there. It happens. An interesting group of 5 are selected. A very interesting group of 5. Of course, we're all feeling all rough because they got Andre Blake, and I told you guys I don't want to take this guy on in penalties. I don't feel good about it. And then our best scorers are not in this game anymore, right? So you're gonna have to dig deep to find your 5, because your classic 5 aren't there on the. I mean, think about your classic 5, right? Probably going to be Vela, probably going to be Arango, probably going to be Acosta, right? These guys are dead ball guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone now. And maybe a Poku because he has courage. Maybe he's one. The attackers are gone, so you got to find another way. And who gets picked first?
Tello.
I'll let you go, Tony, because it was fascinating.
So Tello is the first one to take the first kick of the MLS Cup final penalty kicks. He goes low, mid, right. And
Half
Blake,
speed.
yes, half speed. Even Blake was like, rewatching the video of his reaction. He's like, really? This is what I get? Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be easy. And all I can think of was like, no, this is not how we start. We're going to finish strong. And yeah.
Just move on from that because that was ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it, and I don't understand why that player. Not that he didn't take it. I expected better from him with his experience, and I think he expected better from himself in the moment. Just a frustrating moment. So we move on to the next one. Let's talk about our Lord and Savior John McCarthy.
Well, not yet, because
Not yet.
because Gazdat decides to slip and send it into a field goal, trying out for the Phillies because they're undefeated. Sorry, not the Phillies, the Eagles. The Eagles are undefeated and try to be their kicker, and he kicks it right over the goalpost, and we're tied. Now it's now no goals, so I'm moving on to the next one. Dennis Bouanga comes up and scores a nice hard mid with pace goal against Blake. Perfect, done. Then comes up Martinez. This is karma is a mother, because he decides to take the shot left on his left. Sorry. So every time I'm going to say the right, I'm going to talk about what the kicker is doing. So left, right into John stutters, and McCarthy reacts perfectly. He waits for the movement on Martinez and blocks the goal. So this is the trend where McCarthy steps up. And remember, he's a PK specialist. He has this. We've seen this before. He dove right every time against America, but just couldn't get there in time. And then it gets to Rolling Hollingshead. Mind you, he kind of just put it in. Good pace. The keeper, Blake, decided to dive left while he decided to kick right. And it wasn't even a far right. It was just maybe center. Kyle Wagner has an opportunity. Good with pace. McCarthy better with reactions, and one blocks it. And he's pumped. And we are going crazy. And this is where we can get the reactions for it. And this is the ones. Out of all the people to take the game-winning penalty, the free agent from Araceli, if she was here, was when we had the conversation, because I had a conversation. Kansas City was rooting for us because they wanted their boy Ilie to win the cup, because they wanted he's such like a homer for them, and he slots it with pace on the floor to the right for us to win MLS Cup, to have a star on your chest. And I cried. I full on cried in tears because of all the hard nights, all the days I've given up, the things I've lost, the things everyone's lost, the people who are not here to enjoy this with us. Just bawling. And I'm like getting teary up right now just thinking about it against that moment, because we are champions. And there you go.
Fair and square. We earned our way. Fair, and you shut them out in PKs. Who does this? We do this. John McCarthy, who watches a 9-minute video on kicks in the tub before the game, sitting in the tub watching it, preparing, doesn't take his notes because I'm feeling the vibe. Okay, cool, man. You do you. You're a goalkeeper. Never question a goalkeeper. They have their ways, and it happens. Celebration, cut it, lift the trophy. Watch Vela be the happiest he's been in his entire life. The celebrations be proper. All the things we've been waiting for, we finally have. It's ours now. We are champions. We've earned it. We finished strong. We just won the most dramatic game in league history. Game, set, freaking match. I'll go to you, Bam, first. Reaction, sir.
Emotions just came out of me. Tears, hugging my partner, the dogs, all that, just knowing that a team of this caliber, that people, some journalists, that Slippy kept reminding us all year long, wrote us off from day one from this year. Having Dole come in and make these changes, make the club what it is right now, words still can't explain the emotions I was feeling at the time.
Beyond words. Beyond words. Ben, I don't know how you held it together in that press, but I have no clue, man.
I don't either, man. It was very difficult to not. I mean, although I was like felt fortunate and privileged to be there, it wasn't the same, to not be able to celebrate it with the fans. I do want to point that out. But just being there and seeing everybody's emotions and seeing the players celebrate, and for them to be able to lift that trophy at the bank, where it all started. I mean, it was special to see. I still, this whole week, I keep, that's all I think about. I mean, this literally, I talk about it every day. It's all I think about. I think about, just the 5-year journey that this club has been on. From that game in losing in Seattle in 29 against Seattle in 2019. Just all the defeats that we've gone through. I'm happy for Vela, what he means to the team and the leadership that he's been a great captain for the team these last few years. And yeah, it's hard to explain it, but all I can say is I'm proud to be a part of this family. I'm proud to be able to just share this, like my feelings, my thoughts with you guys, and with the Black and Gold family. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Yeah, it's special to be part of this club for sure. To be from LA, to cheer for LA. And yeah, it's the city of champions. And like you said, Joseph, earlier, we're part of the club now. We're part of the club.
It's what we wanted. It's what our ownership group wanted. It's what our fans wanted. What we fought for, right? Blood, sweat, tears, you name it. We earned it. That simple. We earned it. You heard that stadium. The intensity, the love for this team is different. It hits different compared to any other team in this league. I don't care. You want to compare your team, go for it, but you ain't us. We move the needle. Our boys just move the needle. You got the second highest rated game in league history out of this one. Okay. You got high scoring. We scored 3 goals in every match in the playoffs. It's just nuts. Like, teams don't do the things we do. We just do it different. And everything matches down the line, from the employees to the fans to the players. We do it, and we do it a little bit extra. And now we're here, and now we can challenge for the next thing. And what were they talking about in that locker room? What were they talking about in the press conference? What is Vela talking about? That's when you're coming back. Well, now that we won one, we got to go win another. We got to focus. His comment wasn't yay for me. Was like, yeah, I'm coming back because we got more to do. This wasn't the only mission. This was the first big step, right? And now we move forward. That's the ambition that makes us different than everybody else. That's simple. And you saw it. It's you guys. It's you guys putting in the work. You guys getting as crazy as you do pushes this club to do better. They know they can't give you an inferior product. They know they can't settle because we don't settle. So y'all earn this. Everybody, the community, it's right. It was done right. It was dramatic. Make it happen. Give us the challenge. We move forward. So that's where my head's at. I think the only thing fitting for the rest of this episode is to hear from you guys, to hear from the faithful, because y'all been waiting a long time. We tortured you on this one. Let's just give it to you guys. I'm just going to get into the mix and go to you. And I think that's how this episode should be, is it ends with you guys the same way it ended together in the North End over the weekend. So let me see who's first, who's in the mix. Let's do this.
Before you do that quickly, Joseph, one major criticism I have about the cup final.
Yeah.
Why play in the middle of the day? I'm sorry. watching on TV, because can't be there due to reasons. Having half a stadium in the black, other half in the sunlight, not being able to see where some players would be because the cameras aren't picking up everything, was absolutely horrendous. If the league wants to make this a lot better, either make all stadiums have a roof or play the final at night. If the stadium has a roof, the roof's going to collapse in because the noise would just vibrate so much. So play the game at night. Plain and simple.
TV, man. This league is led by TV. It's always, I mentioned the ratings because it's ingrained in us. It's all about the darn TV. Fans be damned, right? Having to take a train to get to the game.
Apple, it's on you.
And you saw what they've set up, a midday game, right? To kick off the whole thing in a decrepit stadium celebrating its 100th anniversary. Is that appropriate? I don't know, but we're doing it. In a rivalry match when it's our first freaking competitive game. What? Yeah. So it isn't going to change. It's just the way the MLS operates. So I'll throw that back at you, Bam. It's this darn league. It's where we're at. I know I don't like it either, but here we are. All right, all the way to the top. Team Bonilla got the first a new first comment. Boys did it, chance, baby. Good stuff. Daniel Angel in the mix as well. We did it, fam, he says. Get off my lawn. Absolutely insane game. We won the cup. Burke putting in the work, man. Champions. That's right, champions. Who was it? Was it Kelvin? One of our 3252 brothers went to Starbucks and they asked him his name and he said champions and they actually wrote it on his Starbucks cup. I thought that was amazing. Hey, you're a champion. Do what you want. Lunch special Gio, Somos Campeones. Love it. I'm going to keep moving here. Get off my lawn. I guess there were some sound issues earlier. I don't know. Barry Robinson says, effing epic day. Been listening to this pod since 5 years ago with Jerry back in the day. Appreciate all the work you guys do. Still in disbelief. Same here, man. Shock. Absolute shock. Glorious shock. Oh yeah, Barry's also like, yep, Oye Mi Amor was a game changer. Completely changed the mood in the stadium. We weren't losing after that. Nope. And of course, Bale to the rescue by Get Off My Lawn. Yep. Jonathan Reimer says literal roller coasters was less turns than that game. Yeah, this was like Ghost Rider, just amped up that much more with the lights off. Libby's here. Hey, Libby says, you guys are going to make me cry again. We're leaving it all over again. That was the plan. No, I mean, honestly, we got to walk through this. We have to process this, and this is us processing. A very long episode, but I think it was worth it. We won a freaking cup, man. Get off my lawn. Saw a couple rows empty out after down 2 or 3. Feel bad for them. They missed the real show. Let's see. Exotic Killer giving us shout out to us. Dave Gomez. I've rewatched the match twice already. Yeah, my watch today was the sights and sounds, and then the goalkeeper short that they did talking about Max, which got me all choked up yet again. Yeah, there's something I gotta watch every time. Oh, Armando, it's me, Armando. My Chargers got it done. Don't worry. That's funny, man. That's funny. Dave Gomez, CCL. Yep, CCL. Moving forward. Gary. What's new? Nothing much to talk about today since the season is done. Ha! Ha ha ha. Dave Gomez, it was fire. Moving forward, Juan Vargas, the legend of Mac Daddy. We all love Mac Daddy. He is a special case, man. Never does anything quite the same as others. Practical joker, making it light, and this time making it clutch. So good on him. Get him on Gogeta. Thank you, Tony. Smalls, yes, give you a comment today. Yes. Says, what a beautiful roller coaster of a game. Had to knock down Simon's home opener goal behind Bale's header as number one. Bale can get a statue for that, as far as I'm concerned. Man needs a statue. Even if it was made of cheese, I don't care. Make it a statue. Could show up at the tailgate. Make it an ice sculpture. I don't care, but there needs to be something made. David Day, hit that like button. There it is. Clippers got to win something now. Now he's got the Clippers avatar. Before they move to the new stadium, win something. Got here late. Carlos C. Bouanga wasn't beat on Elliott goal. Bouanga just let him go and didn't even try to stay with him. I think even if he follows him, do you really think he's going to stop him on that play? He just got a better view. I think that's all he'd get. David Day, MVP to Max Crepeau. Can't believe he's not getting his proper due for giving up his leg. For the team, covering for others' mistakes, lack of awareness. Yeah, covering for Maria's hospital pass. I just remember growing up, we called it a hospital pass. If you give one that's underweighted, you're going to get somebody hurt. You learn that as a child. You get yelled at for it as a young player, right? You're not hitting it with authority. There's something wrong with you, and you're going to hurt one of your teammates. It happened. Yeah, tough. David Day. Tifo and Pyro really set the stage, even though I don't know about Pokemon, anime, or any. I'm a little clueless on this too. I just know that the other generation, the one after mine, it's a thing, so let them have it. That's fine by me. There was some love. Myra says, "Oh my God, it was epic." Agreed. Carlos C. Still think Dolo took Chicho out too early. The team's attack came to a halt as soon as he came out. Man, I think Chicho was done, dude. Honestly, there wasn't much in the tank. I don't, and I think they're looking for the Bale moment. I won't go after him on that. Dude won us a cup, man. We'll worry about it next year. David Day, even the Mexican media, usually critical, disparaging of MLS, could not deny its epicness. Heard them marveling at how MLS creates these kind of moments. It's great. David Day cursing Dola in the 127th minute. That's pretty funny. Wolf, Campeones, ole, ole, ole. Love it. Move on. Oh, man. Here we go. Dave Gomez. LSU produced goal call from around the globe for Bale's headers. Yeah. So it was what, 10 different sources calling that goal? Again, the media team for LAFC, there is no one like them. They are a special bunch. The most creative folks I know. Really. They are hitting way above their weight every week. There ain't no team like us. There's no media team like us. We got the best and brightest. That's for sure. The music was spot on in the celebration. I Love LA, California Love, back to back. Ella Ray, Queen, Post Malone, Rage. I believe there was a member of Rage in that crowd. I'll just let that go. It happened. It was, yeah, you're right, Dave. I'm with you on that. And yes, Max is the MVP because he's, yeah, you know what he did. Dave, I love it. When's the movie coming out? Right? You saw the article with Peter Guber talking about that. Like, I couldn't sell this script. It's just not believable. It is now. We're ready for that. Apple Plus mini doc or one of those ESPN ones, right? Like, someone's gonna make something out of this. That's for
30
sure.
for 30.
30 for 30, right? This could be a 30 for 30. If it doesn't qualify, I don't know what does, but it's definitely 30 for 30 material. This was Bale's score. The fact Philadelphia did not put at least 3 players to defend him at all time. They left him alone. The player that never plays gets dunked on. Gareth Bale, unbelievable. He's Gareth Bale. That's all you have to say is he's Gareth Bale. Daniel Angel, Ilya didn't trap and pass back and throw it in. He one touched at the Cheeky's belly, and Cheeky touched it off his knee. It was all beauty all the way around. Just take it for what it is, man. Karma, whatever. Dave calling Wales over England. Let me hope for that dragon that's hiding up here. There it is. Yeah, I'll be rooting for them except when they play for the US against the US. So there's that. David Day, so many storylines. Ilya Sanchez, free agent, was going to the Gals, but after one conversation with Coach Dolo, he decides to come to LAFC. I know some other things with that I can never share with you guys because Ilya is the most genuine man I have ever met. Ben's probably can tell you the same thing. When you talk to him, he will tell you the world. He will tell you how it is. Is brutally honest and genuine, and that story goes way deeper. But he chose the good guys. We'll say that. And again, him getting his moment, he needed it. He needed it. They say some fans at LAC jersey walked out when the score was 3-2, listened to the stadium roar goal, wanted to come back in. Security said no. You shouldn't have left, Wolf. Wow, man. Wow. There we go. Heart of LAC. You guys saw the Spotify already. Carlos C. Taylor was the right guy to go first. He changes his mind in his run up and botched it. I mean, if you're gonna go experience, he's one of those guys, right? You would think he'd be ready for it. I think Blake guessed right. He's like, dang it, he guessed right. Let me find something else, and it didn't happen. Nestor, everyone made a difference during the PKs. Loud when Philly shot, calm when our boys shot the PK. Even for me, that was the difference. Yeah, we got strategic, man. That is for sure we did. David Day, Bouanga is our future, by the way. I agree with you. Bouanga is the most exciting thing we've had in a very long time. He inspires me every time he plays because he never freaking quits. Doesn't get mad, doesn't get lost in it, doesn't get into the argument, doesn't get too chippy, just does the job. And makes it look pretty. He does things. It's hard to get the ball from the man. We are lucky to have him, that's for sure. Daniel Angel wants to ask the Capos if they had the PKs planned out or they figured it out in the moment. We did actually. Okay, I know enough to know that it was asked. That it was asked of the players. That was out there. Was what would be the appropriate thing to do, and the appropriate thing was take the reactions and distract the enemy, the opponent, and let our boys focus. The smart move, the right move to make. That's for sure. Dave's in a dream, people. He just said it. Louis V says, man, I told you guys Vela was not leaving without a cup in LA, and he still ain't leaving. He wants more. So there you go. Louis V, we are champions. Yes. And everyone's got their champions, their stars. You see the David Day star right there. Love it, guys. Love your reactions. Be happy with it. Another one. Smalls, thank you for bringing this because I want to bring this up too. Because by the way, I saw a small monarch butterfly in the south end before Bale's goal. You saw that monarch butterfly. I saw it against Austin. My wife saw one as well, a different type of butterfly fly over them and head into the north end in this game in the early stages of it. As you all know, there is a thing, right? It's a sign for us when we get the butterflies. And there was a butterfly that flew over the march. So I'll throw that out there too. That it is a good omen for us because that's our brothers in the sky looking down on us, right? We're getting help. We're getting divine support, and they're paying us a visit. All is going to be all right. And once again, it was. Myra saw the butterfly too. Yep. And as David says, Champions League next. Yep. Ox says, I ugly cried when I got that goal. It's on tape, Ox, by the way. It is very much on tape. Watch. It is. I think I hugged you because I was worried about you in the moment. It was heavy cry, man. But you earned that. You earned those tears, dude, for putting in work, for being with us this whole time. From being a supporter long before this. I know we could have that other conversation about being a long-term supporter of hard luck sides, just like me. And now having a side with ambition and a future and being able to move on to this new side. And the journey coming here to getting one over on MLS. For some of us, it has a little deeper meaning, a different thought that we add into it. But again, this is our side. This is our club, all of our club. It is a new movement and is one that is special. Jose Quiros says, no doubt the best MLS final. Shout out to Tony for keeping me intact for my tearful, emotional finale. Um, my heavy heart feels at ease knowing Mo and our lost loved ones were celebrating with us in the stands. Love to this club, love to the Capos, love to the 3252. Together our blood bleeds black and gold. So true, brother. Well said, well said. That's the stuff we love to hear. Our community once again. Jeff Milan says, I flipped off the Philly section when it was done. Hugged everyone in black and gold. High five security all the way out. There you go. Gonna move on to Jonathan. Says, anyone else still smell champagne? With you on that. Araceli, yes, we hear from Araceli. Says it was a magical moment that'll be remembered for a long time. We are champions. Good. Monarch Tifo 2023. I think Monarch tattoos are going to start appearing. I would put it past even black and gold tats showing up with butterflies because there's something there. There's not the falcon wings aren't the only wings we celebrate. There's all kinds of wings. This is just one other set in the family. That's for sure. Good stuff, guys. I know Nestor was talking Champions League. We'll catch that down the line. That's for sure. I think you guys got us pretty well in this show. It's been a long one. It's been a good one. It's because of you guys that we do this, and we went long because, dang it, we won a championship. If we can't ride this one out and make this one as long as we possibly can, then something wrong with us. Y'all get your day. That is for sure. Thank you guys for the comments. Do you guys want to cover anything else? Or I think I feel satisfied with this episode. What do you guys think? They're looking at me like, let it go, man. Let it go. Just be
Yeah,
happy.
we'll do like a year reviewed pod, and we'll see about the World Cup about it. But
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. I think anything we do after this, after the high we're currently in, like, doesn't give respect to the moment that we just all earned. So if you guys are good with it, I think we're going to give our final thoughts here. Call this one and get you ready for next season. When we can get you ready for next season, I don't get lost in it. So I will go to you first, Ben. Ben, your final thoughts of the day on this. Give it your all, man. It's all good.
I am a very happy person right now. Let's just say that. Super proud of this team, of this community, of this fan base. I feel like a lot of it has already been said, but it's just joy, just pure joy to be able to witness a game like that and to come on the right side of things. Just the roller coaster of emotions. Best game I've ever been a part of. Yeah, like you just couldn't write a better story, and I'm just really fortunate to have been there and to celebrate with everyone the day after at the celebration. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support. Thank you for just being there, for being at the games, for saying hi, for everything. And this is just the beginning. It's only 5 years. This is just the beginning. There's going to be more to celebrate hopefully in the near future, and hopefully we can start with the Champions League next year and maybe win the Open Cup, and why not go back to back and win this again. So yeah, just looking forward to next year and happy to be a part of this family.
Thank you, brother. Happy to have you here. That is for certain. After all we've been through in podcast history, planning, writing, seeing your move up into it, and honestly, man, just loving what you're doing. Just keep it up, dude. Keep it up and enjoy this as best you can, because this is when you really want to write, right? The celebration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep it up, man.
Thanks.
It's been beautiful.
Thank you, Joseph.
I'm gonna have it go over to Bam now, sir. You have the floor. Comments.
What a season it has been for us. What a year it's been for everyone here. I'm not gonna get too much into it for this episode because I think we're gonna have to come back and do just a general season overview and all that kind of stuff podcast. And I'll get into it then. During the off season, just remember, guys, the friends and the family you have in the black and gold aren't just for the black and gold season; they're for the off season too. We got the World Cup coming up. Catch up. Go watch a random World Cup game. Go watch England lose. Just go watch Socceroos put 5 past France. Just see what happens. See what happens during the World Cup, and just remember, at the end of the day, we're all here for the black and gold. We're all here to support each other in every aspect that we do. Whether it's us supporting Ben with his writing and seeing where he is now with all that kind of stuff, us just supporting each other in this podcast. Just remember, we're all here for the same goal, and the goal is to get behind our club and push them to win titles.
That well said. In terms of putting 5 past France, I'm not sure you're gonna get 5 past them, but just if we get 5 studs into them, I can look forward to that for Australia. All love, man. I hope they do. I do hope they do. Tony, sir, your final thoughts of the day.
We're champions. It's been a long road, especially for everyone here. Me and Bam especially, we never thought we would be doing this, and now we're doing a championship pod. For Ben, reading your articles and the way you progress has always been like awe-inspiring to me, and wanting to do that also to you guys as well. I had a goal for myself when I kind of took over the Instagram, was to get to 2,000, and I never told these two. That was my goal for a second, and I was hoping that we hit it today, and we did. So thank you all for the support and everything like that. I was getting people like noticing me after the game saying that like you won it, you got it, like thank you for the hope and everything, but I didn't do it because of, for me, it's for you guys. You guys enjoy this, like you're the ones that put in the work as much as I am, and it's just been a very hard year, as most of these guys know about it, and it's just to win the championship, to celebrate with you guys, to go for another one. And like I said, you never forget your first. And for the people who were there and the people who were brought in this year, you're very spoiled, like very spoiled is the best way to say it. And the only thing that can get better is Champions League, and then Cup, World Cup, and being the best MLS team ever is the best. That's what's our next goal. But like I said, like just to piggyback on Bam, is just hop on back and watch a World Cup game, because even though we shouldn't support it, like let's just say the game is the game. Screw that. Screw the host. I'll get flagged from FIFA from it later. But yeah, enjoy it. You made a lot of family and friends, and I've made a lot of family and friends doing this. So yeah, that's my final say.
Well said, man. Speaking of that World Cup, another supporter once told me from the very early beginning, when I was taking over leadership in 3252 and getting into that, never forget that football comes first. Never forget it. And tonight was one of those nights where we just got to focus on football and why we were all here. And the football comes first. Of course, the football builds families, builds friends, builds friendships for lifetimes, builds moments like this. But at the end of the day, it's football that brought us all together. And he was wise in that statement. That don't forget, it's football first. It's football first. Don't get lost in the madness. It's football. This club didn't lose that either, right? You see the slick advertising and all the crazy things we do, but at the end of the day, they built a football club. They built one of the best ever built in this league. that put us all on a crazy journey this year. Highs, lows, searching for records, moments where we thought we lost our way, that got too complicated. But at the end of the day, they built a juggernaut, and it got us what we wanted and what we've all been fighting for. And you could say 5 years, but it's more than that. It's like 8 years for many of us. The year zeros, no. It's been a long time coming, and now we are here. And we're here because you all demanded it. You stuck through. You made the noise. You made the proper noise. You kept it constructive when you could keep it constructive. You did it the right ways. You followed through with staying golden, okay? And now we are here. We're champions. And now we have to back this up. Be the gracious winner. Get ready for the next. Go that much harder. Push that much harder for 2023. Because that's the thing. When you're a champion, you can't rest on your laurels. You have to keep doing it. Nobody wants to talk about this club being the first to anything in 5 years. And that's all you want to talk about because you're the first to something. No, it's what's the next year going to bring. How are you going to make it better? That's the LAFC way. For everybody, thank you for all that you've done this year, for backing us, getting us to 2,000 on Instagram, over 4,000 on Twitter, giving us the comments, keeping us honest, telling us what's good, telling us what's bad, demanding more from us as well, just like our club. We thank you for that. I thank you, Tony. I thank you, Bam. I thank you, Ben. I thank you, Araceli, and everyone that's ever been on this show. Thank you to Jerry for getting this off the ground and making it real and coming in at those times when you knew we needed a little bump. Thank you, brother, for doing that. And to the club, I want to thank the club for everything they've done. And a big shout out to Larry for giving a shout out to all of the podcasts in his speech on winning the championship, just showing the love to the leaders that put the work in from year zero. Perfection in what you said, sir, and we'll forever be grateful for what you've done, trusting us to get to this stage, to celebrate with all of you. So to you guys, to the faithful, thank you. And well, we end it always the same way. What do we say, boys? Ben, final word?
Stay golden.
Bam?
Stay golden, champions.
Tony?
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And for me, to all of you champions, yes, champions, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.